After the Senate voted down a marriage equality plebiscite, the government and opposition faced off on border protection and new legislation to permanently ban anyone who is trying to seek asylum by boat from getting any sort of visa.
This is rushed legislation, and the government said they're not interested in amendments, so we'll vote it down.
And the people smugglers would be rubbing their hands together at the moment because they know that they have hit the jackpot with Bill Shorten. They have found Mr Shorten, the Leader of the Opposition, the would-be Prime Minister of this country, who has demonstrated he doesn't even understand, Mr Speaker, the basics when it comes to stopping the boats. It
came as the latest essential poll was released, asking voters if they approved or disapproved of the legislation on asylum seekers. 56% approved, 52% of Labor voters approved and 29% disapproved. Labor will be hoping they gain more support from their base over their superannuation reform. The opposition wants to make billions of dollars worth of cuts to super tax concessions, including decreasing the annual cap on non-concessional contributions.
These are good faith suggestions. I don't want to give Scott Morrison an opportunity and excuse to walk away from this package. If the government chooses to take up these options, that's good for the budget. If they don't, then we'll continue to progress them and take them to the next election.
What they've announced today is a lie. They went to the last election saying they were going to have a package of superannuation measures that was in the same budget envelope as the government. And what they clearly were planning to do was increase the taxes on superannuation by another $1.4 billion at least. Now, that is not a way to deal with the Australian people.
But it wasn't just pressure on display between the government and opposition. The pressure on the Prime Minister from within his own party seems to have resulted in a parliamentary probe into the Racial Discrimination Act.
Has the current Prime Minister sought the advice of the AFP or any other security agency on the implications of watering down Section 18C?
We need to make sure that our laws get the balance right between defending the strength of our multicultural society and the mutual respect on which it depends, and those freedoms.
The Parliamentary Joint Committee on Human Rights will look at whether the Racial Discrimination Act restricts freedom of speech and whether the complaints handling procedures of the Human Rights Commission should be reformed. The committee will report by the end of February next year. Dan Borscher, Sky News, Canberra.